Back in the early days of early 1990s, we had some Chinese students in our PhD program in economics from China. And then you really didn't come to the U.S. for graduate programs easily. You had to, most of the people that came were from college families and government organizations, and so they encouraged us for several years to go to China because it's their home country and they're proud of it. And we finally did go in 1993 as sort of a look-see trip. We visited a few universities in Shanghai and Beijing. We visited with Shanghai University of Finance and Economics on that trip. And it so happened that was the year that Shanghai had decided they needed to open up to the West. And they started something called the Shanghai 100 program, which was a program to introduce their rising stars, the top 100 leaders in Shanghai, to Western practices, Western culture, Western business. So they started sending these rising stars to universities in Europe, I think Australia, and the U.S. And the idea was to train the 100 government officials that were going to rise to higher and higher levels. So they did their language training at the Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. By pure accident, it was when we visited there that these discussions were taking place. So they came to us, they being the university and really the government agency or organization that was doing this, and said, would you take some of our officials at your university for 6-month training? And we decided to do that. And this happened really, their first group came, I believe, in 1994, if I'm 4 or 5, I think it was 1994. And we introduced them to American English, American culture. We taught them 3 or 4 classes in international business. We took them on a lot of trips to Charleston to visit government, to visit the governor's office, the International West Virginia Development Office. We took them to companies in Pittsburgh and West Virginia. They wanted to understand how American business is conducted. And so that really was the very first group that came here. And we've had now every year since then a group from Shanghai. They have been the leading international city in China, I think broadly considered the very cosmopolitan international city. We followed with a similar program in Tianjin, which is the 3rd largest city, and then in Xi'an and Shanxi province since then. But we've had, I think the number is around 250 officials from government/business, and I say government/business because there's a fine line between what's government and what's business. A lot of their businesses are state-owned companies. But I think we've had about 250 officials that have come here since 1994 for generally 6-month training. There was a lot of being at the right place and the right time on this. I think we have benefited, we being the university and the state has benefited in many, many ways from this over time. We made decisions along the way. Do we continue it? Do we expand it? What are the benefits to our university and our state from this? And I can answer some of those questions as I have over the 20 years, and in that We help West Virginia companies that want to do business in China. It is not an easy process. And so we have worked with the West Virginia Development Office, Department of Commerce, to help assist companies make introductions, do due diligence, take them to China. We teach an export course that is now 10 years old, where we take West Virginia companies and put them in a classroom with our students and help them identify countries around the world where they should sell their products. And many choose China, and if those that do, we help. Help them understand the culture, help them understand how to do business there. If they want to go there, we will take them there and introduce them to companies, to government organizations that might be able to assist them. A lot of these companies over time are very actively doing business in China now.